we as individuals are capable of small changes and we can influence the people that are close to us, the people who trust us, the people who believe that we have something of importance to say. And I think global change starts on the micro level that cumulatively, when you add everything up, results in the bigger, more meaningful change.
Thank you so much for participating in my Tao project and the podcast version, Tao Preaching Voices on Climate Change. And this project is to highlight personal experiences with climate change from around the world. And I've collected these stories as evidences of climate change. Thank you for being here. Can you tell me who you are and where you're located and what you do?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I am G. Victoria Campbell, but I go by Vicky. I am located in Seattle, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest. And by education, by trade, I am an industrial organizational psychologist. And what that basically means is I help businesses be more profitable by working and manipulating the people within those organizations. But basically, I work in human resources, focused on work that's important to me, which is typically diversity, equity, and inclusion. 5 years ago, I pivoted, and now I also do part-time musical theater, songwriting. I write musicals, book music and lyrics, and the themes across my dual careers, whether it's psychology, HR, or music, are that I'm focused on themes of fairness, justice, activism, equity, and inclusion. And specifically, what's important to me right now is the theme of climate activism.
Thank you, Vicky. That's very interesting. So let's dive right in. And I'd like to know what nature means to you.
That's a very broad, important question. Nature to me is the organic world. It's everything that's not man-made. It's it's the earth, it's wind, water, fire, it's the elements all around us. For me, it is the rainforest, it's the woods, it's the trees. I'm based in the Pacific Northwest, and so I'm really lucky to have nature all around me. But it's the world all around us that is in its organic form, not influenced by invention or innovation. And it's it's beautiful.
I agree. Beautiful. Would you describe a landscape in Pacific Northwest that is very dear to you?
Ooh, what I love about the landscape in the Pacific Northwest is that one, it's diverse. We have nature in basically all its forms, a lot of woods and trees, so the earth gets very stormy and windy here. It's very romantic and moody, so a lot of like fog and mist and rain and grayness, which people sometimes can find depressing, but to me it's very romantic and whimsical. We have mountains, we have lakes, we have basically everything that a nature lover could want. Very, very lucky. Um, and so I love about the landscape here is that it is not your pristine white sand beaches. It's not tropical. It's not generally very hot. It's just very, it's the kind of landscape that I think helps one to reflect and find peace.
You have made a musical that's about climate change, and I'm just wondering, I'd like to know what you have noticed in your environment that environmental changes you have noticed that you came to make a musical about climate change.
It's a good question. So the musical that is focused on climate change and climate activism is called Treason. It's spelled Treeson, which is a play on the word treason, Treason, because it's a musical about betraying the planet and betraying the forest. And I was inspired to write it when I lived abroad in Switzerland during the COVID pandemic because I was very homesick. We were all in lockdown. And admittedly, before the pandemic, I was kind of a climate change defeatist in that I believed in it, but I didn't think there was hope. I didn't think that there was much we could do as a society because we were just on a path forward of destruction. But during COVID, I read a lot of articles in the news that because of global lockdown, people weren't traveling as much, people were not commuting as much, and surprisingly, a part of nature was restored. Wildlife started to reclaim their territory, pollution was declining, and I had a mindset shift in that I realized when we as a global society unite, when we can come together as a global community, we can enact powerful change. And so I became an optimist and more hopeful around what we're capable of as a society, but as individuals within that society. And so that is a big theme of treason is that climate change is real, fighting climate change is hard, but there's clearly a path forward that includes reversing climate change and making the earth more habitable for all.
That's very interesting. So you already talked a little bit about solutions in a way, and that was like, well, during COVID, people were in lockdown, so there was less movement and commuting, and so that helped the nature to reclaim its territory. Do you have any other thoughts? Like now we are in a very different kind of a place. It's after COVID, and we are
Mhm.
very active again as human beings.
Mhm. Yep.
What are your thoughts now? Like, do we have solutions to adapt to climate change or stop climate change?
Absolutely. I think we've seen what we're capable of as a society and any kind of activism, whether it's, civil rights or climate change. I think that, of course, people can put the blame on big corporations, which are huge contributors to climate change, big oil companies, companies that are creating tons of waste, agriculture. Sure, that's part of the solution, but we as individuals are capable of small micro changes. And that includes just having conversations with people in our communities. It can be a chat with somebody who's maybe on the fence about recycling or on the fence about eating less red meat or somebody who maybe is, traveling a lot. I think that we as individuals are capable of small changes and we can influence the people that are close to us, the people who trust us, the people who believe that we have something of importance to say. And I think global change starts on the micro level that cumulatively, when you add everything up, results in the bigger, more meaningful change. And so I think certainly there are things that we could do as individuals. I'm always trying every day to be a better climate change activist with the small ways I live my life.
That felt really good to hear that. Yeah, that felt really good to hear. Um, is there anything else you'd like to share before we finish?
Yeah, I just want to encourage anybody who's watching this Tower podcast to remember that we are all capable of enacting change as individuals. What I said earlier, I think it's really easy to just lose hope. It's really easy to think that what's the point? Like I should care about my life today and living my best life possible and who cares about future generations? But I think we have to realize that there are people coming after us. There are not just people, but animals. There are living things coming after us who will be impacted by our actions today. And it's about empathy. It's about thinking ahead to beyond ourselves. And we're capable of small change, which can enact the powerful change. Um, and I feel like I can't finish the conversation without putting a little plug on my climate activism musical. So if people want to learn more about my arts, you can go to treasonmusical.com, TREESON musical.com, and hear some songs and hopefully be inspired to take better care of the planet.
Yes, and I've listened to your musical, the songs. That's really wonderful. Yes.
Thank
Please,
you.
please check out Vicky's musical.
Thanks,
Uh,
Sari.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and good luck with the continuation of this podcast.